I worked out a design for this house and garden renovation, linking the inside to the outside as if it were all one space. Now my goal is for the garden spaces to look modern, interesting and crisp, whilst avoiding the need for any maintenance. I tidied up the areas at the edge of the lawn by introducing more turf, and now I need to mix in some interest in the adjoining areas with some other materials, such as chippings, bark and timber, as well as making these lawn edges maintenance free. My main criteria: it needs to be simple to install because I'm no landscaper, and it needs to be maintenance free because I'm no gardener. I'm going to first of all weed all these weeds that have gotten into the place. I'll probably spray a bit of weed killer down on the surface. I'm going to use this weed membrane to put over the top. Then I'm going to be putting in 50mm approximately depth of chips down. I think I'm going to use these white and anthracite mixed 20mm stones. I just like the colour of them, and I think they'll go with the existing design in the house. And the idea is the area around where that, I think it's called bulgur grass. I won't tell you the story behind that, when people had it in their front gardens. If you don't know, then that's probably best. We'll put these stones around that, but we'll carry the membrane right over and we'll just cut around where the rose and the grass is, and then we'll put some large bark pieces over the top of that. These bits of stone we'll arrange to make a circular sort of area that looks like it's planted. There'll be nothing else that can get through other than what's there already. I'm also going to have to try and leave some sort of space for, these are not weeds, these are actually dead daffodils and tulips, or not dead but retired. So I will try my very best to take the membrane around those so the bulbs can produce next year and in the following years, because it's really beautiful when they come out here. Plan is, once this membrane's down and the gravel is on top and the bark is around the little circle in the middle, then this little portion of garden will not really require much maintenance in the future, and that space will be able to be enjoyed as a space. Could probably get a table and chair on it. It's south facing, gets lovely sunsets as well. But that's the plan for this. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to be using what's called a cultivator hoe to get the majority of the weeds out. It's a fantastic little tool. I think it's much more efficient than using hose or pulling out with your hands. And I'm just going to use these big canvas bags that I bought from Amazon, and then just take the weeds down to the local dump and book an appointment there, and then we'll rake the ground. Hopefully that should get everything nice and level. I'm going to leave the gravel in. It's not going to do any harm. Very tough weed membrane I'm using, so it's not going to get pierced. And I hope that this will give probably 10 years of maintenance-free garden. So as luck would have it, it's nice and windy. It's very hard to do this, and I ordered these metal pegs to hammer down to secure the weed membrane, and of course they've not come, so I'm trying to weigh these down with these stones. The stones are going to put round here, I think I said that, and then we're going to put bark in the middle. Trimming down these hedges, just using some loppers. Got these really good loppers from B&Q, because before I was using these old ones. Yeah, these loppers here, they're all right, but they don't cut as well as those. Okay, so what we've done is I've just trimmed back these hedges. This all needs neatened up, probably with some trimmers, but I've just used the loppers for now. And then we're going to finish off just doing this weeding, and then the first load of the gravel. But for now, we're going to carry on finishing off, just weeding out these last bits here, and then we'll be ready to get the membrane down, and the delivery of the gravel will be coming in a couple of days' time. And let's just hope the wind abates a little bit for that. So we are going to come with the forklift and go over the top here and dump some in there, and then we'll do the same here. It's just going to save me a bit of time, so that forklift is going to come all the way up here, go in there. And I'm going to cut the bottom of the bag and hopefully so make a pile there and a pile there with a forklift. Perfect. I've used this big shovel here with the lipped edges for moving the gravel, and the rake, the blunt side of the rake, to smooth it out. I haven't used this for anything. I've got a small shovel here that I've used for some of the more delicate work, and then for the turf I've got this turf cutter here that my sister kindly lent me. A Stanley knife here I'm using to cut the turf, and it seems to be working alright. My cultivator hoe I'm using just to loosen up soil where I need to do it. So I've got this pallet of turf. It's already starting to dry at the edges here, so I probably need to get this laid pretty quickly. We've started to trim down these edges along here with that turf cutter. Well, that's the turf in. I'm now going to water it, get all these edges. Fortunately, the levels are not great. I didn't have any topsoil. I thought the turf would be a lot thicker than it was. It's only about 30 millimeters thick. I was expecting it to be more like 60 mils. So the topsoil I prepared to go around these borders was too low at these bits here. This bit, it's not so bad here, and I think the grass will grow up and it's not so bad there. Because I just had some spare soil that I used to sort of even out, but I'm hoping that this will grow in anyway. Now I'm going to water all these edges and the whole thing really. I've already watered underneath the soil, so I walked on it first just to get it flat, and then I watered it and then put the turf down, and now I'm going to water the turf again and focus on all the edges. I don't know if I've put it down strong enough. I don't know if I've watered enough. But like all things when you're doing building projects, you know, you just have to research as best you can and do your very best for it. And as long as you do that, then you can't regret anything. So far this barrow has held up really well. I'm really impressed with this wheel. It's really bouncy. Now I've just got to finish these steps. Unfortunately, I've run out of gravel, so I can't do this last step. So what I'm going to do instead, I bought this sarking board, this treated. Put these on the treads as well, short term. It'll last long enough anyway for me to get some more. I need some more of this gravel, and then we'll be able to take that off. This bit of sarking on the tread, just leave the verticals, which will last longer in this weather, which is quite damp. I'm going to use these. I don't really use these for much, but this is rather great. Just drill a wee pilot hole with a hammer drill, and then you just drive these in with this hex fitting. You get the hex fitting comes in the box, and these are just a lot quicker than using frame fixings or roll plugs. And we'll just put in 3 or 4 along the length there. In terms of the turf, this is the turf that I laid. It needs cut now, so that has worked out really well. Also planted this little olive tree, which is looking nice, and we need to just then start trimming off these hedges. And the objective, as I said, was always to make this a maintenance-free front garden. In the next video, I'll show you how I sourced, sized and quantified these materials in order to get the delivery and usage just right, where I purchased them, and quick spoiler, it wasn't the garden centre. If you enjoyed the vid, please give it a thumbs up, which helps a lot with the YouTube thing, and I hope to see you again.